Hey, JMC 6000 here in the JMC Garage for this week's JMC Garage Talk. And this week we're talking about, well, something that, as you can tell by the title, something I've come across quite a few times on newer vehicles. In fact, I've seen it even one of our rental vehicles that I work for, Budget Avis. And it's kind of something that it's just come up recently. Maybe, I don't know, car dealerships have probably been doing it for a while, but it's something that needs to be addressed, and it's something you ought to look out for. And especially if you sign up, if you don't sign up for it, if you don't sign up for this particular thing to be installed in your car and you don't know it's there, I would think, why would you keep it there? And that is the whole thing of GPS tracking, sort of data collection and everything else that car dealerships usually install once the car is brought in. PDI, they'll install it via your OBD2 port, and I'm going to show you where it would be installed, and then they would ship it out to you. So basically now this little tracking device is in your vehicle, and it's tracking everything that you're doing: brakes, throttle, everything, that steering inputs, everything you're doing is now being tracked via this little OBD2 port device that is aftermarket. Now, can I just say this? And the whole reason why I'm making this video is anything connected to your OBD2 port or is en route or in conjunction in your OBD2 port is always going to be aftermarket. No manufacturer is going to do this off the factory floor and actually have something in line with your OBD2 port. So what I want you to do is, if you bought a car recently, I mean within the past few years, I'm talking about 2023, 2024, which we're still in, going into 2025, you need to locate where your OBD2 port is and kind of dig around it to see if you have one of these tracking devices in your vehicle. And you may be like, well, John, what's the big deal? So what if they track my information? So what if they track my brake applications, my throttle applications, and everything else? I believe dealerships and everything, and they track where you are in your vehicle. I believe there's going to be implications that are going to be far beyond privacy and everything else, that are really going to be just not a good thing moving forward. And there is no reason, you cannot give me a good reason, no reason why a dealership would need to track your vehicle. Absolutely no reason whatsoever. All right? So let's kind of go into this. I got my 2025 Explorer here, bought it at a dealership here about 4 months ago. And we're going to track to see if there is a GPS tracking device on my Explorer. Now, let me do a quick caveat. The caveat is, with my Explorer here, that from the factory, this Explorer has the opportunity to connect with an app that I have on my phone called the Ford Pass app. Now, the Ford Pass app tracks GPS location, tracks it can do remote start, it can do remote unlock, locking, everything else. But that's through Ford. And that's a service that I don't have to worry about paying for. So I can remote start my vehicle anywhere. I can unlock it. I can lock it anywhere. I can track to see where the vehicle is. Maybe I forgot where I parked it or something else. Perfect example, last night I went to an event for Black Friday in downtown Coeur d'Alene. And I had to park a long ways away, and in order to track where I parked it, I could easily bring it up on my app, found out exactly where it is, and I can actually hit directions, and it'll actually use up Google Maps to navigate me exactly where the Ford was parked, and then I can go on and then do a remote start. I knew exactly where it was, and it was absolutely awesome. Not that I lost my way, but I wanted to make sure that I knew exactly where this thing was parked. Now, that's built into the ECU. The engine's ECU is right here on the Explorer underneath the hood, and that's all built in. Ford doesn't use anything outside to really, so it can connect with the Ford Pass app. And many other vehicles, many other manufacturers do this as well, whether it be Toyota, whether it be Subaru, whether it be Mazda, whether it be even GM, they use OnStar, and a lot of other manufacturers use some kind of app, so you can not only remote start your vehicle via the app, you can track where it is, you can do remote unlocking, locking, you can flash the horn if need be. If you have a loss in a parking lot, you can flash the horn to show you where it is. All those things. But let me get around here and let me show you what we're looking at here and what to look out for. Ow, tripped on my son's scooter. All right. Okay, so I got my little flashlight here. Here is my OBD2 port. I already loosened up a panel. And here is what you're looking for. I'm going to flip my camera around, give you a better idea of what we're looking at here. Now, okay, so you may not see this clearly, but you see the wiring coming out of the OBD2 port. You see that cluster of blue, orange wires goes into a wiring loom, and then we follow that, and look at that. It goes right into the original wiring harness for underneath the dash of my Explorer. There's nothing in line. This is the original OBD2 port. Now, what these companies and what these dealerships are doing is they'll knock this out of its spot, that OBD2 port. They'll knock it out of its spot, and they'll put in line a dongle that will plug into that OBD2 port, and then as it plugs into the OBD2 port, it'll go into this little receiver box, and out of that receiver box will be another OBD2 port, and that'll put back in place. So this way, if you need to scan or do anything else with your vehicle, it's actually in line. It's kind of like a dongle with a receiver. And what they'll do is they'll tuck it up in there. So if you see the original wiring to your OBD2 port tie into the original vehicle wiring, you're safe. There's, it hasn't been altered. But what some dealerships are doing, they're using this GPS tracker, plugging it into your OBD2 port. They'll knock out your OBD2 port. They'll put this dongle in there, goes into this little tracking box device, and it's not by the manufacturer, it's by another company. And then they'll come around with another wire, and on the end of it will be an OBD2 port receiver, and it'll be put back in this location. So it almost looks like, and they'll button this all back up, almost like there's nothing wrong. And if you didn't tell to the untrained eye, you'd be like, wow, that looks stock. It doesn't. What a lot of people are not doing their due diligence to dig, to figure out if you're being tracked or not. And you may be like, well, the dealership needs to track you just in case you miss your payments, they can come tow it out. No. Once you get done with the dealership, unless you're doing servicing with them, you don't have to go back to them. In fact, the dealership I bought my Explorer through, I don't see them ever again. I don't go back to them for service. I don't go back to them I went to them for accessories, but I mean, that's it. Once I'm done with them with the sale, I'm done. I don't need them tracking my vehicle. I don't need them to report back or anything else. No, there's no need for any of that. And you may be like, well, John, don't you have a loan now in your vehicle? I do. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. When I traded in my Maverick, the money I had in equity in the Maverick didn't really cover the cost of the Explorer. So the difference, I have a loan out on. No doubt about it. But at the same time, my lien holder, if they want to know information on where my vehicle is located, where it's at, they can go through Ford. All they have to give Ford is the VIN number, saying they are the lien holder. And Ford can say, oh, we know exactly where that vehicle is. We can track it right to exactly where it is. So we don't need a GPS tracker because it's already built into the vehicle through Ford. And again, that's with pretty much every manufacturer today, whether it be, again, Honda, Subaru, General Motors, Mazda, it doesn't matter, Toyota. They all have their own apps and they all have their own GPS tracking to where that is all tracked through the vehicle manufacturer. Again, if my lien holder wants to know if I'm late on payments and they need to repossess it, they just contact the vehicle manufacturer, give them the VIN number, and it gives them the exact location of where their vehicle is so they can come and haul it away. Anyway, so what really bothers me is that people make excuses. Oh, well, that's good to have that vehicle tracker in there, that GPS tracker, and it gives peace of mind to you and peace of mind to the dealership. I could care 2 cents worth of what the dealership thinks about my vehicle and peace of mind that they need. They don't need any peace of mind. All they know is, well, you got a trade in. I bought this vehicle from you. You made a little money on it, and that's all you need to worry about. Let's move on. You know what? And I'm going to say the same thing to you. Unless you got some super loyalty to your dealership or where you bought it from, and you want them to track you, then by all means, keep it in there. By all means, have at it. But I'm telling you right now, go ahead and look around if you bought a vehicle recently within the past year to 2 years, and look around for one of these trackers connected to your OBD2 port, and I would say rip it out. Take it out. They don't need to know you. They don't need to know your information about your throttle inputs, your brake applications, exactly where your vehicle is. That can all be done through the manufacturer. It's already done through the manufacturer. Even if you don't keep up on their app, you don't need to have that mess in your vehicle. There's no need for it. There's no reason for it. They're not going to take recourse on you if you happen to remove it. Oh my goodness, we can't receive a signal. We better send the police out to them. Oh no. Oh, come on. Guys, wake up. Wake up. Come on, people. Wake up. You don't need that junk in your vehicle. Rip it out. Be free from it. And you can just rely on the manufacturer to track where your vehicle is. That's all you need to rely upon. And the app that you have. All right. Anyway, maybe you guys have ran into this before. I've seen it pop up more and more with dealerships. And I'm telling you what, you don't need to give a reason for the dealership to track you. There's no reason at all for the dealership to track you. None whatsoever. So stop letting it happen. Again, if your lien holder wants to know where your vehicle is, they have ways of getting a hold of that information outside of not having that vehicle tracker. And I guarantee you, many, if not most lien holders are not saying to the dealership, so you got to put that tracker in there. We got to know exactly where that vehicle is. No. Vehicles are already tracked without you having that junk in your vehicle. All right? Anyway, if you guys have any questions, comments, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I upload every single Wednesday morning, every single Saturday afternoon. This is JMC 6000. Maybe you found out one of these things in your vehicle and you've since removed it. Good for you. That's awesome. Again, there's no reason to have it in your vehicle. You guys be blessed, and we will catch you on the next one.